Hi, and thank you for tuning in to the Daily Dose for Spiritual Growth. It is Monday. Hope you had a fabulous Easter yesterday. Hopefully you got to go to church. If you missed a church service, we would love if you went and viewed ours online at shrewsburyassembly.org. You can view that through YouTube or Facebook, however you want to. It was a beautiful time just celebrating the risen Savior. But this week we are going to jump right back into Genesis. We are focusing on Genesis chapter 26 today. And I just want to read a few verses to you, but I encourage you to read through the entire chapter on your own. It'll just take you a couple minutes, but as we've been tracking through Genesis, we've been following most recently through the life of Abraham and his descendants, as we are now to the life of Isaac. Now let's go ahead and read just today verses 7 through 11 in chapter 26. It says, "When the men of that place asked him about his wife, he said, 'She is my sister,' because he was afraid to say, 'She is my wife.' He thought, 'The men of this place might kill me on account of Rebekah, because she is beautiful.' When Isaac had been there a long time, Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked down from a window and saw Isaac caressing his wife Rebekah. So Abimelech summoned Isaac and said, 'She is really your wife. Why did you say she is my sister?' Isaac answered him, 'Because I thought I might lose my life on account of her.'" Verse 10, "Then Abimelech said, 'What is this you have done to us? One of the men might have slept with her, with your wife, and you would have brought guilt upon us.' So Abimelech gave orders to all the people, 'Anyone who harms this man or his wife shall surely be put to death.'" Now, if you have been tracking with us over the last couple weeks of Daily Doses, or if you on your own have read through the book of Genesis, you might be feeling like you're having a little bit of deja vu, because this story of Isaac and his wife Rebekah very similarly relate to previous stories in Genesis 12 and 20, when Abraham, his father, did the very same thing with his wife Sarah. If you remember, if not, go back and read through those encounters. But basically in those stories, the same thing. Abraham lied that Sarah was his wife in order to stay safe, because he as well thought she was beautiful and that men would desire her. And so he didn't want to be in danger because someone would want to harm him so they could take his wife. So instead, a very interesting approach, he lies about it and tells the people that she is his sister. And you can go back and read what happened in those situations. But here in chapter 26, we find something so interesting. And I think there's a deep spiritual conviction and truth that we can get out of it. We see Abraham's son, his son Isaac, now a grown man, married himself, repeating the sins of his father. Now, we don't know from context. It never says when those encounters happened before. Were those stories passed down from generation? We don't know. We don't know the specifics. I get that. But it's very ironic that his son Isaac does the very same thing that he did. And so you can read through the rest of the chapter. I encourage you to do so and see what happens in this story. But I think it's important for us to take a moment and think about what little eyes are watching us. You know, when we make poor choices, when we choose to sin, when we have a lapse in judgment, however you want to frame that, other people are watching. Other people are watching our example. It may be your spouse, maybe your children. Maybe you say, okay, I'm off the hook. I'm not married and I don't have kids. Well, there's still people that are watching you. It might be a coworker. It might be a neighbor. It might be a fellow believer at church. There's always people that are watching our lives. And it's so interesting here how we see that the people closest to Abraham somehow caught or taught, they caught some of his poor behavior and his poor choices. And so think about the people that are positioned in your life. Maybe you are a parent and you have young children in the home or teenagers. What are they catching from you? What are they seeing you do? You know, I hope we all are trying to teach our kids to do the right thing. But oftentimes they catch things from us. They catch us in something we say, or catch us in something we do, or they catch us in a hard moment of maybe lashing out in anger. And they also learn through those encounters. Doesn't mean we have to be perfect. But what if we took that knowledge, that realization that other people around us are looking at us? What if we use that as a challenge to really live our lives to honor Christ? What if we lived our lives to chase after our relationship with Christ, to be bold in our faith, to be desperate for time with the Lord, to be intentional about living in accordance with his truth? What might the little eyes around you, or the big eyes, what might the people around you who are watching your life, what might they catch if they see your passion for God. Hey, I want to thank you so much for tuning in today, and I hope to see you again tomorrow for another daily dose for spiritual growth.